The courtroom was unusually silent when Michael Rivera, a thin 42-year-old man with tired eyes and trembling hands, stepped forward, his worn jacket hanging loosely from years of hardship, as Judge Caprio looked down at the file and then up at the man who clearly carried more weight in his heart than in his pockets. Michael was charged with driving without registration, unpaid parking tickets totaling $1,850, and failure to appear in court months earlier. But as the judge gently asked why he had ignored previous notices, Michael swallowed hard and said in a broken voice that he had been living out of his car after losing his job at a factory that shut down during layoffs, that his wife had passed away from cancer 2 years ago, leaving him alone to raise a 10-year-old daughter named Emily, and that every morning he parked his car near her school just so she wouldn't know they were homeless, because he wanted her to feel normal for at least a few hours a day. The courtroom shifted as murmurs turned into silence again, and Michael continued, explaining that the tickets began when he started sleeping in the car because shelters were full, that he missed court because his car was towed one night with everything he owned inside it, including Emily's school books and his documents, and that he walked 6 miles every day just to see her after school, pretending everything was fine, while inside he felt like a failure as a father. Judge Caprio leaned forward, no longer just reading a case but listening to a man, and asked Michael how much money he currently had, to which Michael replied, $32, Your Honor, his voice cracking as tears finally escaped, and when asked what he would do if the fines were enforced, Michael said honestly that he would lose the car, and without the car, he would lose his daughter because child services had warned him already. The judge paused, letting the weight of the truth sit in the room, then asked the prosecutor if there was any objection to leniency, and even the prosecutor quietly shook their head, acknowledging that justice without compassion would only create another broken life. Judge Caprio then spoke words that seemed to lift the room, saying that courts exist not just to punish mistakes but to understand circumstances, that laws are written for order but judges are here for humanity, and that no child should be punished for a parent's poverty. He dismissed the failure to appear charge entirely, reduced the remaining fines to a symbolic amount of $50, payable only when Michael found stable employment, and ordered the court's social services to immediately assist him with housing and job placement, then surprised everyone by personally paying the $50 fine himself, telling Michael that his responsibility now was not money but being present for Emily. Michael collapsed into tears, covering his face as the judge reminded him that being poor is not a crime, that loving your child is not a weakness, and that sometimes life knocks people down not because they are bad, but because they are human. As Michael thanked the judge over and over, the courtroom audience wiped their eyes, and Judge Caprio ended the case by saying, "Sir, go pick up your daughter today. Tell her father stood tall in court, and remember this moment when life gets hard again, because today the law served justice, but compassion served hope."